with what I've done in life now going back to Arizona and just cruising the streets where I did some bullshit.
All right, so I want to bring you on, Minnesota legend, bodybuilding community. You've always rocked with me, and I've always rocked with you for it's been years, bro. It's been years. Shit, that was like LA Fitness time.
Yeah. It's been a minute.
But yeah, man, I wanted to bring you on. It's been a minute since we've caught up, and I wanted to shine some light on the bodybuilding world.
Yeah.
The best person that's to be able to do it is yourself, obviously. One of the biggest bodybuilding in the Midwest for sure.
Yes, sir.
10th in the world, Olympia stage status. And you really can't ask for a better person to bring it on, just with life, bodybuilding, everything that's happened and transpired in your life.
Yeah.
It's been a lot, and you've been able to overcome all of those things. It takes a strong individual to do so. And I've seen that from afar. I've told you that numerous times personally as well. So I want to kick it off, but I want to bring it back to the young days, man. When you used to kick rocks, killing it with the boys in the streets, coming from Arizona, bringing it up to the Midwest. We'll just throw it back, man. Let's start off where you come from, where you came from.
Came from Aender, Arizona.
Attaboy.
Yeah, Aender, Arizona is where I came from. It's like where whole family's at, you know what I mean? I never thought I'd leave Aender, Arizona, but yeah, Aender, Arizona, a little small town. Aender, it's big now. Won't say small, but it's big now, but yeah, that's home.
Yeah.
Yeah, I miss it. I can't wait to go back and get back home. Yeah.
A lot of things have transpired in that city, right?
Yeah, a lot of things.
You grew up from a boy to a man.
Yes, sir.
To a teenager.
Yeah.
Some of the stories that you've come through and told me was pretty wild. Yeah. You know what I mean? But we all live and grow, right? So it's one of those things where you live and learn. So you grew up in Arizona. You went to school down there?
Grew up in Arizona, went to school down there. 28 years of my life, you know what I mean? Like, that's where I was born and raised at. Like I said, the roots, it's weird that, it's still kind of weird to me that I'm living somewhere else, because that's just like where all my family is at, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
All my cousins, like, I have I don't know how many aunts and uncles. I got probably about 20 aunts and uncles all the way together. So that's a lot of first cousins. Like, my family's huge out there, you know what I mean? And on both sides of the family, sports was huge in our family,
Right.
Sports is really huge in the family, and grew up playing sports, that's all I did was playing sports. And, through all the way through, got to high school, and then, that's when you get like summertime football, you know what I mean? They want you to come to practice in the summertime in Arizona, 100-some degrees.
Yeah, fuck that.
They want you to be practicing outside.
Right.
And there's pool parties going on, or my boys is hanging out, this and that, and I didn't want to do that. You know what I mean? So that's when I show up and try to play the season, but they already been doing this, and I'm way behind, so I quit playing football. And, and then that's when you stop quitting the sports that you played, and then you start getting a little bit more time to be a bad boy, do some bad shit. But I ran track. I did track for a year, and I was fast, but I had that football speed.
Yep.
And back growing up, though, on some real shit, I was like Mr. Football. When it came to like Pop Warner football, this and that, like the hombres, I remember growing up, we took us 6 state championships. I didn't weigh enough, so I had to go down to ponies one year, took the ponies to the state championship, went back on the hombres and went back again. And then, got in high school, and it just, I just lost the love of football, you know what I mean? And I played basketball. I was a hooper, though. I was a 3-year letterman in hoop and everything. Sophomore year, I was able to get moved up and start playing on varsity, you know what I mean? So, and junior, senior year, I played on varsity and everything. So sports was big in my life, you know what I mean? But basketball, I was a little dude.
Right.
You had to be spectacular.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Quick.
To be quick. And I was quick, but I had to be wet on every shot. You know what I mean? This and that. So sports, I never went anywhere with sports. And then, that's when I started getting in the streets and just, enjoying life, you know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
And, working job to job, not knowing what job I'm gonna do, and then, hustling.
Right.
Started hustling, and it's just
Quick cash.
What's that quick cash? You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And it was fun, you know what I mean? Like, thank God, like, nothing, no felonies, no record, no this, no that, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Never came out of it. But yeah, would I change anything I did in life? Why? Why are you gonna change? This is the life I'm supposed to live. It was all a lesson.
Amen. Yeah.
It was all a lesson. So I enjoyed that. It was
Yeah.
fun. That's why I just thinking about me going back to Arizona, like with what I've done in life now going back to Arizona and just cruising the streets where I did some bullshit. Over there.
Hell
this
yeah.
and that, just going, it's just
That damn stop sign is still fucking there.
Yeah. So yeah, that's where I grew up, in the streets, and for a while there, man. It got bad. That's why I moved out of Arizona, because you could be in the streets for so long, and then like I saved my life on a couple events, where right-handed guy, where my guy is doing life in prison, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because robbing pawn shops.
Yep.
Robbing pawn shops in Arizona, and one of my guys got killed while he's robbing a pawn shop, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he's life in prison.
So it's a fast lane, right?
It's a fast lane, you know
And
what
it
I mean?
happens so quick.
Yeah, so quick.
Yeah.
So quick. And I was this close, but that just tells me I'm supposed to do better.
Right.
I'm not supposed to be in that predicament.
Right.
So I kept missing it. I kept missing it. And it's after a while, it's like, okay, your luck gonna run out if you don't
Right.
open up your eyes, because you ain't gonna miss it next
Yeah.
time. You know what I mean? So
What made you open up your eyes?
the passing of my mother.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you were you living up here?
I was living up here then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you moved up here when you were 28?
Yeah, I lived up here when I was
What made
20.
you come up here?
It was better opportunity.
Okay.
Better opportunity.
I mean, you go from Arizona to Minnesota. I mean, that's a fucking culture change.
Yeah, it's
bro.
culture change. I lived in Wisconsin for a year.
Yeah.
I lived in Wisconsin for a year, and then I moved up here and just, my brother got a job out here, and then I was just like, I had my other cousin was out here, and they was like, Minnesota is cold, but why not? I was like, I need to get out of Arizona, man. 'Cause
Right.
like, I don't know where I'm gonna end up. So if
Right.
it's in blizzard weather and I'm over here cold as shit, that's where I need to be at. You know
You're in
what
an
I mean?
apartment, warm as fuck.
Yeah, that's all. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
that's all you gotta be. It's not like I'm outside living in the cold. You know
Right,
what I
right.
mean? It's in and out. So yeah, that's why I came here, and I still was on some wild stuff here. You know what I mean? I moved out of there. My mom was like, "Oh, okay, I can sleep now. I
Right.
can sleep." And like to give you a point of view, one of the things that made me leave Arizona wasn't even my bullshit. I got into somebody else's bullshit. He pointed at my head because he was trying to back me off of his guy, and he was on payroll with his guy, and he to my head. Right-handed guy, I didn't know what to do. I was so shook. Like, I just stood there and didn't move.
Right.
And long story short, some stuff went on, and no murder, no nothing like this. Like, I don't want to go through the whole story, but that was just like
An eye opener.
an eye-opener. Like,
Yeah.
damn, like, I'm out here. This ain't even my stuff, but just because you guilty by association.
Amen
or
to that
some
shit, bro.
You know what I mean?
It's facts.
So that was
Especially when you're rolling like that in a, I know the street life too, and it's when you do that, guilty by association, bro.
Yeah,
you might not even know what the fuck they're talking about.
Yeah.
But they know that fucking
That's my
B was
peoples.
there.
That was my
B
peoples.
was over there. He hangs with bro.
Yeah. So that's what it was. So that got me to Minnesota, and like I said, I was still on some wild stuff out here, just partying, man. That's
Yeah.
who I am. I'm a party.
Easy to do
It's
here.
easy to do. You know what I mean? And then when she passed away, then that's when it was like I fell off the deep end. I got the amount of money I blew through with her life insurance, this and that, and that. It's filthy. The amount of money I just wasted, and I wouldn't say it wasted because I think I had to go through that to get to where I needed to get to. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, definitely.
And when I like, that's what it was. I hit rock bottom. I was like talking about cocaine, bender. Like cocaine, you do it, you're supposed to get up and get talkative. I used to get it and get quiet.
Right.
That's how bad I got on it.
Shit.
It was a comfort bacon for me, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I used to get on and it used to comfort me, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? And I was on a bender and I just woke up one day like, I'm talking about I was on a motorcycle, on a ZX-10, Kawasaki ZX-10, Patron, coked out, just yeah, get caught by the ghetto bird. Get caught by the ghetto bird. If I'm lying, I'm dying. Me and my buddy ghetto bird catching us, and I'm lit. Like we're lit.
Yeah.
Not him, but me, because all I did. They're like, "Hey, cut, we about to leave and go here. Do your thing." I go in the bar, get a couple shots, do some lines, and we out there 160 going crazy on the Cowie. But like I said, where I keep missing it, like I'm doing crazy shit in my life, and it keeps missing me. So that tells me, like, I'm not supposed to, you know?
Right.
I got more to do. And that's where it was at when I was out here riding crazy on that ZX-10. It saved my life, the bike did, when my mom passed. But I got bad on it with all the drugs and this and that.
That came with it.
That came with it because, like, that's just how
it's easy to do.
It's easy to do.
It's a very easy trend to do. It's very easy to fall into that when you are down and out, you're depressed, you're going through some shit. Easiest thing to do is to find fake love.
Oh, and it's fake love. And I burned through 50, 60, 70, 80. I don't want to keep going how much money I burned through.
Right.
It was like...
But you don't think anything of it.
No.
You know?
Until that last check, you hit the last check, and it's like, you only got $12,000 left. You said, what?
I don't even have fucking Jordans.
Yeah, you got, oh my God, you got $12,000 left. I'm like, whoa.
Right.
And that was a wake-up call right there, too.
Yeah.
It's like, damn, now you just been living. Now it's like, what you gonna do? But like I said, I'm always a hustler, so I'm gonna get money regardless.
Right.
If it's working 9 to 5, if it's doing whatever I gotta do, I'm always gonna be getting money. I'm always gonna figure it out. You know what I mean? But right then and there, I was like going through it so bad, man. After that, and something just told me, you need to wake the fuck up.
So what made you walk into a gym?
Because I went back to my roots. I'm athletic, working out. I'm supposed to be built a certain way.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't built like I was supposed to be built. Like I'm looking at myself.
You were skinny as fuck.
What's that?
You were skinny as fuck when you went over to LA. Fitness.
Yeah. No, I wasn't skinny. I was always cut up. I was never skinny.
Okay. Yeah, you were cut up, but
I was never skinny. I was always cut up. I looked like this at 160 pounds.
Fair enough. That's that is very true,
I was
guys.
never skinny. Skinny's not. You never use the word skinny with my physique anytime.
He was skinny compared to what you are today.
Yeah. Because back then, everybody was like, what the fuck? Like, he's huge back then.
Right.
Even all my motorcycle guys, I just came back around from 10 years ago, they was like, man, we thought you was big back then.
Right.
But I was only 160, 170 pounds, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now it's different,
Right.
You know, but so something I just looked in the mirror and I was like at that point in time, I would have called myself skinny. I would have called myself skinny.
Right.
Because of how I looked, you know what I mean? And I started doing it and I was like, I need like discipline, structure. I need like this. And I was like, why not bodybuilding?
Yep.
And I said, fuck it, let me do bodybuilding. Didn't know nothing about it, didn't care about bodybuilding, didn't know who was the greatest bodybuilder, didn't know none of that.
Right.
I was just going straight off, I like to lift weights and I need to do something to change my life, and why not do bodybuilding?
At that point, you were in your early 30s, right?
I was 30, so that was 2014.
Yep. I remember 2014 LA Fitness. I remember that. You were on the leg press.
So what is that? So
not to put an age on it, but you were early 30s.
Yeah. We don't need to put age on it.
Yeah.
Nah,
but when you walked into LA Fitness, obviously people notice, you walk around in a tank top, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Who came up to you first and was like, do you compete? Are you a bodybuilder?
I don't even remember, man. That's so long ago.
Like, how did you even hear about competing?
Because my guy in Wisconsin and all them, they said, you got the genetics to do it. You need to do it. And they did it.
Yeah.
They did it. They're out there doing it. And I was like, and then I saw Keith Williams.
Yes, sir.
I think I saw Keith Williams, and I
Yep.
was like, what does he do? He's a bodybuilder. I was like,
He was out of LA Fitness at the time.
and
Yeah.
I said, I want to look like that. I want to be a bodybuilder. And that's when I was like, fuck it, let me go be a bodybuilder. And I did this shit.
Did he take you under his wing?
No, hell no.
No, you just knew of him?
I knew of him, and he coached me for a little bit.
Yeah.
And he coached me for a little bit, and then I went my own way and did my own thing and did my first show. Locally, to Mr. Minnesota. I did my first show by myself because Tim Johnson didn't want to step on anybody's toes. And at the end of it, what I needed help with, he helped me manipulate the water. But other than that prep meant my first prep. I did my whole self and brought myself in, and Tim helped me out with the water depleting and stuff like that, and I won that show.
Yeah.
And then that was like, for real though, that was the first time since October 2012 to October 2012 to June 2014, I was depressed and fucked up that whole time. By myself, I'm fucked up. And if I'm around people, I got good distractions, it's all good. When I did that first bodybuilding show, Mr. Minnesota, when I won that shit, it was like the first time where I had, like, I smiled. I'm like, I feel like smiling. Like, and my blanket ain't no drugs. My blanket is fitness and bodybuilding. Right. So it's like, this is my blanket right here. Yeah. So I need this blanket right here to help me out in life.
Right,
right. And I went 100 miles per hour in it.
Yeah. So when you won Mr. Minnesota, was that lightweight or middleweight?
I was light heavyweight.
Light heavyweight.
Light heavyweight. Yep. I weighed like 100 and I don't know. I think I weighed like 180 some pounds or something like that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And when you competed, how did you know what poses to do?
Of course, I'm around all the bodybuilders. It was like at LA Fitness or Google. You do this, and like I said, I worked with Keith Williams for a little bit. I worked with him and went through this and that, and I still didn't know how to pose.
Right, because that is, in my opinion, that's like 70% of your.
Oh yeah.
If you don't know how to pose on stage, you're fucked.
You're done.
Done. You could look as good as you want. Yeah. But if you don't know how to pose, you're aced. Yeah.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So I won that show off. I didn't know how to pose. I didn't know how to pose at all. But they were just like, who the fuck is this with his genetics? We don't know anybody that looked like this and where'd he come from. And I won the whole show, and shit, that was all she wrote. After that, then I went ham, you know what I mean? And like that morning, I remember that morning I woke up for that show. I woke up in the morning, smoked a Newport, got high, told my boy, do you got to black him out? He's like, yeah, I got to black him out. Let me hit your black him out. I hit a black him out, and I'm like, okay, I think it's time to go do this fucking bodybuilding show. And that's what I did. And I went out there, didn't know what I was doing, and I was like, it's time to load up. I'm eating some candy. I'm like, this is where I get to eat candy. That was the old shit back then. I ate some candy. But I went out there, won that show. I'm like, damn, maybe I need to stop smoking the cigarettes. And then maybe I need to stop smoking the Black & Milds. I had 2 packs of Newports. I finished the packs of Newports, went to 7 rooftop, partied like that, smoked all those cigarettes, and then I put it down there. That was all she
Cold
wrote.
turkey.
Cold turkey. Cold turkey. Yes.
7. Wow, is that old? Holy shit.
That's impressive.
7 on the corner, man. It's been a minute since.
Jeez. Yeah, so that's when everything like started turning around for me in 2014, and then I thought I was gonna go get my pro card right away.
Yeah, like everybody else.
And it's like, oh shit, like you really like get to these other places. You're like, hold up, what are you, a middleweight? No, I mean, what are you, a heavyweight? No, I'm a middleweight. Damn, you look bigger than a motherfucker. You know what I mean?
Because in my opinion, I've always said this, is the Minnesota shows, there's good talent there. But you start going over to like Wisconsin and getting those Chicago boys.
That's where you get this. So when you go to nationals, and back then, nobody was really getting pro cards like that.
Right.
2014, this and that, nobody. Especially,
they were stingy as shit.
Especially bodybuilders and this and that. So when a motherfucker like me come through and be like, hey, I'm about to turn pro, I'm going to go do this. And then they see me through LA Films. They see me at Los Campeos working out. They see all that, and they like, dang, this motherfucker said he was going to do that. June 2014, he started bodybuilding. And then he got his pro card November 2015.
Less than a year.
Less than a year and a half.
Shit's unheard of. Because back then, they only gave out one pro card.
Yeah, they gave out one. No, at Nationals.
Yeah.
At Nationals, at my show, they gave out 2 for first and second, but I still took first.
So out of how many guys?
Yeah, it was a lot.
I mean, you're talking probably 60, 80 guys.
It was, and back then, it was stacked.
Right.
It was like, you had these shows. Now I've seen all these shows, they don't be having as much.
No.
But when I was like that, we had 58, 60 people in our motherfucking class, you know what I mean?
Right. And they all look the same.
Yeah. So,
So to be the top 2 and get a pro card in less than a year,
yeah,
shit's unheard of.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it is. I mean,
yeah.
For those of you guys that know bodybuilding, to get your pro card, it's an average 5 to 7 years.
Yeah, especially back then.
Right.
Especially back then. Now it's like, they're giving out more pro cards, and it's just like, even back when they would call that easier.
Right.
Because back then, even then, it was even harder to get a pro card. You know what I mean? But it just feel like, I never wanted to toot my horn, this and that, but I made it more realistic in Minnesota for people to start getting their pro cards.
Right. Were you the first bodybuilder in Minnesota?
No, Keith Williams was here, and it was, but like to do what I did in Minnesota, no bodybuilders ever done that.
Right.
You know what I mean? But
because a lot of people would take a year off.
Yeah.
A full year off, recompete,
Yeah.
qualify, then go get their pro card, or compete to get their pro card.
I just kept going every show.
Right.
And like I was going to get it. I did. So I went to, right away, then I went and placed like 8th or something like that at North Americans. And then I went to go place, then I I got good genetics. My genetics is this, so I don't have to. I could eat this and I could do that. Then I dropped to 13th, and then I was like, oh, these guys they serious,
right?
And then they're serious, so I gotta be serious.
Now they're getting to a different level.
Yeah, now they get to a different level, because you want to know a funny fucking story. That's that Miami trip. The Miami trip, we walked by a Danish table. And I look at the Danish when we walk in, and we sit down, we go over some shit. I get to eat a little bit of food, and then we walk back by that Danish table, and my coach is in front of me. I grab a Danish, and I throw that motherfucker in my pocket. I throw it in my pocket, and he kind of caught me. But I played it off. We get the other way, like, what you do? You got something at the table? I said, no. I didn't grab none at that table. I didn't grab none. Man, went down to the room. I ate that broken. I don't even like those. Gooey. I just ate it. I was hungry. Yeah, then I got like 13 plates that show. Ate all the candies that you prep up with. I ate all those before the show. Fucked up. And man, yeah, so then 2015, I was like, okay. And then that's when I placed 3rd at USA's, and then I took it at Miami.
Yeah, because you won in Miami. You won that. That's actually a big show.
Yeah.
I would say that's almost. I mean, you would know better than me, but is that bigger than USA?
Nah, USA's is like the more prestigious.
Out in Vegas?
Yeah, in Vegas. Like, I wish I would have got USA's. I went against Cody Montgomery. We battled it out, but that's when my name got on the map. My name got on the map. Yeah. So I had one hiccup. That was that one national show. I had one hiccup to get my act right, and after that, it was always there.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So when you obviously are in the bodybuilding world since 2014.
Yeah.
You've competed. You're getting your pro card. You're competing.
Yeah.
You go out to New York Pro.
Yeah. No, I haven't done New York Pro.
Did you? Also, you didn't do. Were you gonna do New York Pro?
I was going to do New York Pro one year, but I decided not to do New York Pro. And I did something else. I think it was Indy.
Indy. That's what it was.
That was Indy. I decided to do Indy. I was going to do New York Pro, then I decided to do Indy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you came into Indy, and
I should have won Indy, but I lost to Blessing Abadibo.
Yeah.
And then the next show at California Pro, I took that one, and then I beat Blessing.
Because I remember the shit talking that was going on with that.
It was fun. It was real fun. Like, everybody's like, is it like, they act like me when I seen him, it's gonna be like me and him in each other's face. No, motherfucker, we gonna be shaking each other's hand, laughing, this and that. It wasn't like I didn't like him, but I'm just like, I want to beat you. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
competitive.
That's competitive. That's why I kept to myself for a lot of my career, man. Because like, I don't care if we're in a different divisions, this and that, that and that. Like, I just like, in order for me just to be the best I could be, I had to get into my thing, and I'm like, everybody is competition.
Right.
Everybody's competition because this is not a team sport. So everything is I just got to be locked all the way in. I never liked training with. I did it 1 year with Aaron, but after that, I never liked training with people. I never liked doing this because it was just like, if I don't get this, it's because of me.
Right.
It wasn't because, I shouldn't have did this. I shouldn't let him, or I shouldn't let this person get. No, it's like I'm locking all the way in, so I don't have nobody to blame but me if I don't get what I want.
And that comes from early stages in life, right? I mean, that's how you were raised, was being competitive. Being in sports in the family.
Yeah, you always
fend it for yourself.
We had reunions, picnics, we racing. I don't give all my uncles, 50s, 60s, everybody racing. We don't care. We're racing.
Pulling hamstrings.
Like, we racing. Like, that's just always in us. You know what I mean? I'm sitting back watching on my thing, seeing my cousins and all them still racing. My cousins, that's brought me and him around the same age. He used to be the fastest in the family back in the day, beating everybody, watching them beat everybody. And now I'm seeing the little ones beating him. I'm like,
you paying them and shit on the side. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So you competed in Indy.
Yeah. Won Cal Pro. And then that was my second time getting to the Olympia.
First time in Olympia, let's flip it back for a
2018.
second. 2018.
Yeah, 2018.
You step on the stage at Olympia. What was the biggest shell shock to you walking into that building?
I did it. I was like, whoa, I did it. I finally did this shit. I did something. Like, I knew I had some athletic ability. I knew I had genetics. I knew I had this, and I felt like I wasted it.
Right.
You know, I felt like I wasted it. So when I finally locked in and I did something, it's like, okay, I can let myself off the hook now.
And I want to let you guys know that, for the people that don't know, Mr. Olympia is the Super Bowl of bodybuilding. When you step on stage of that, you are stepping on stage with 15 to 20 of the best bodybuilders in the world.
That. Yeah, 20 to 30.
I mean, that's fucking unbelievable, man. It really is. I mean, when you think about it, and you think of all of the competition that's there, when you shrink that down to 20 to 30 guys, that's fucking insane, man.
2 top 15 places. I placed 13th and 12th, and then I placed 10th.
That was your last stage, was that 10th place?
Yeah, last stage.
That was 2023.
Yeah, last 23, yeah.
So you've been on stage 3 times.
Yeah, Olympia stage 3 times. Yeah. Better myself every time. Yeah.
What was the difference from the first time you stepped on stage to 2023? What did you change differently from 18 to 23?
That's just time, you know, with anything. You get better with time, you know what I mean? Your body, everything, you learn this, you learn that, and your mental, you just push hard. It's just, you just get better with time, you know what I mean? So if I'm taking up Spanish in 8 years, I'm going to be very fluent at that, you know what I mean? So it's just, what happened was me just locking in more and fine-tuning and seeing what, like, training works best for me, this and that and that, you know what I mean? And, like, my legs one year, like, I lost my legs one year, and they were like, what happened to your legs? And then my midsection, I made the vacuum cool again in open bodybuilding. I did that shit, you know what I mean? Like, we're backstage with Hunter Labrada and his coach Chow and all them, and Chow was like, man, Luke Sandow will be very proud of you. Rest in peace, Luke Sandow. Luke Sandow will be proud of you, he said. But what you did with your midsection, you made that shit cool again.
What does vacuums do?
It just gave me the different, because my midsection is always one of my weakest things. Like, I don't have the real pretty midsection. I did before I had the double hernia surgery, and something went wrong with that, and I didn't keep my stomach in, like, and it was some shit went wrong and messed my midsection up. So, like, I never had the best midsection, but when I pulled that vacuum, it gave my physique what it needed to get to where I needed to get to.
So when you're talking vacuums, for the people that don't know, you're sucking in.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you ever watch his videos, which I highly suggest every single one of you guys to go do, is watch his videos on Instagram. When you're sucking in, I mean, it's a lot of people might think it's easy.
No,
but it is not easy.
I tried. You know how many years I tried to try to do it for? I tried it like it was years. I tried it since like 2018, 19, and then I gave up. And then I did it again, and I gave up. And then when I came back to 21, because I took that year off during COVID.
Yeah.
And when I came back 21, I did Tampa Pro, and I was up in there. Like, I could have won it, you know what I mean? And I placed third after my first show back, and I just looked, legs grew, everything, and it was just a midsection. And I was like, fuck. And I was like, I'm gonna get this vacuum. And then Matt was like, you get that, it's gonna change the game for you. And one day I just kept trying it. I finally did it, and it was a game changer. But I brought that shit back to make it cool in the open bodybuilder, you know what I mean? Because nobody, and a lot of people that do it, they shouldn't even be doing it because it don't even look right on them. You know, like Milos. Milos is a legend. He's one of the legends, and every time they talk about people doing vacuums, I don't like it. But he's like, besides, you know, Charles Griffen, yes, vacuum looks good on him, doesn't, but everybody shouldn't do it. Like, but I made that, I did some big shit, you know, man. Personally, for me, like, I feel like some real big shit, and like the leg development, that's one of the hugest things too. Like, I'm aging like fine wine, and my legs keep getting bigger. You know what I mean? Like it's all about right training, staying underneath that weight, and I love this shit. You know what I mean? Yeah.
It's not all about just throwing weight around either. I mean, when I've seen you in the gym, you are concentrating seriously on every fucking muscle that you're moving. Yeah. So just because you're out there benching 600 pounds doesn't mean you're going to be fucking huge.
No. It
doesn't mean you're going to have shredded pecs. No. It doesn't mean your shoulders are going to be jacked. You have to have that
movement. It's all about they're just moving the weight. You want to feel the weight. Right. Like, I'm feeling the weight, and I had to learn how to work out like that. Because 2018, my legs still they were good in 2018 Olympia. Yeah. But in 19, I lost them when I got up real heavy, and I couldn't train legs like that. And like my legs, and then they were like, what happened to your symmetry? What happened to this? And I was like, and I just found I had to learn how to work out again. Right. I had to learn the movements that work best for me and how my feet position and this and that. So I had to lift less weight for a little bit. Then I built it back up to where now I'm lifting the same weight I was lifting, but I'm just moving in a different. And
you didn't have, you know, like a lot of these top bodybuilders, you didn't have a trainer.
No, I did my own shit.
That wasn't next to you 24/7.
Or another pro. Or another pro bodybuilder.
Because there's nothing like that here.
Yeah, or another pro bodybuilder like Martin, Brett, all these, they all got this and that. Right. Yeah, no, I always pushed myself and did all that myself.
So that in my opinion, makes it just even that much more noticeable and better. Is like, you had to get up every day. Yeah. You had to get there. Yeah. You had to push yourself in the gym. Yeah, you got some guys in the gym that say, hey, let's go, let's get it. They might spot you here and there. Yeah. But you don't have somebody that's sitting there fucking, you're going too heavy on your hamstring here. You're going, you didn't have that.
I'm all hands on. I learned all I know. When it comes to this training shit, I'm a bad motherfucker. Right. I know my shit. And like some guy right here that just got out of school, or this guy, he knows all these big words and he knows how to talk.
We can't even spell that motherfucker.
He knows how to talk like this and like that. Right. But okay, yeah, you know that book stuff, but let you train this person. And then let me train this person and let me show you what I can do. Like, my shit is hands-on. The way I learn is trial and error and dealing with people and dealing with myself. I'm a bad motherfucker at what I do when it comes to working out and proper form and how to train this and that. So, yeah.
Well, you don't get to the level that you're at by not knowing shit. Right. Because your body, you know your body more than anybody else. It don't matter if you got a coach or trainer. It don't mean two shits. You're the one that knows your body. Yep. You know, and I've always said that is when you get to that level, you're the only one that knows what your body can truly do. Yep. You can have a coach and a trainer, that's great, but if you feel something's up, you're already gonna know what's changes on. You know?
So now, I'm very fine in tune with my body, and I'm getting more in tune with it right now. But yeah, so I brought my legs back up and this and that, and that 2022 Olympia, that was the shit. That's when I was like, I did it again. This wasn't a fluke. You know what I mean? Because 18, I did it. Then that's 19, 20, 21. That's 3 years and I ain't been there. But I knew I wasn't no fluke because I was coming up this short second place.
Did you have to recompete to requalify?
Yeah, every year I had to because I never placed top 5.
Okay, so the top 5 don't have to requalify. Anything past that has to requalify and actually win the show.
Win the whole show. Yeah.
At the pro level.
And I'm gonna be honest with you. I got 3 pro wins. Honestly, I should have about 5.
Right.
100%. And some of those other second places I'm not adding might be even questionable. For sure, 5 that I should have.
What's the 3 pro shows you won?
I won Kansas Pro, I won Cal Pro, and then I won my show on 23.
Tampa?
No, not Tampa. It's out there in Vegas.
American? Oh,
Reno. It's a Reno, Nevada show.
Yeah, yes, I know which one you're talking
Legions.
about.
Legions. So that was my 3rd one, Legions.
Okay.
And I won that one. Like, I tore my pec April 3rd. Didn't train upper body for like 16 to 18 weeks. Didn't train any upper body. All I did was train legs 3 times a week. And I started prep without training upper body with my pec still healing on a calorie deficit. So I couldn't never build my pec up. And then I just went in straight into prep and did a show that October and won the Legion Sports.
How did you tear your pec?
Going up with the 175-pound dumbbells. And it wasn't even pressing them. It was just they came off the leg wrong and they went that way and bam. And I tore it, but I didn't tear it off the bone. I wish I would have tore it off the bone because that would have been better. They would have been able to latch it, surgery, wait till it healed, get back to work. Where I tore it, it's in a muscle belly.
Right.
So you're waiting for a muscle belly to grow back. So it's some annoying ass shit. So, but dang. This shit's
does that put your mind in a different area when you can't fully train like you want to?
Oh yeah.
But yet you're still going to do a show?
Oh yeah. I was man, I didn't have no confidence in myself at all. I knew I looked gnarly, but I was like, that pec right there. Pec right there. And yeah, the pec was fucked up, but like you just couldn't deny the physique. Neither time you could deny the physique. It's like, yeah, he has the imbalance right there, but look at
they noticed it.
And they noticed it, but look at the condition and look how he's posing, look at everything. Like, yeah, this guy don't got that pec wrong with him, but he don't got glutes and hamstrings feathered. He don't have none of that shit like that. Look at the detail. Yeah, this guy don't have that, but he don't have none of this detail. So when it comes down to it, I have one thing that's fucked up and I'm beating them on everything else. So
because your conditioning.
Because of my conditioning and everything. So it's like, and like my muscle, like I'm just a dense muscle, you know what I mean? Like, so like some of those guys they outweigh me by 20 pounds, but when we on that stage, just like the way my shit just
sometimes
pops,
heavier is not better.
Yeah, and the way my shit pops, it looks like they don't outweigh me by that much. It's just because of how my shit works. But yeah, so yeah.
So 2022, you step on stage.
Yeah.
Take another trip out to the Hotland Vegas.
Yeah. No, that was in Florida.
Oh, that's right. They switched it.
Yeah, that was in Florida.
Because of COVID.
Yeah.
That's right.
No, wait, no.
Yeah, because they switched it because of COVID, and then they kept it there for another year afterwards.
But I competed in Vegas in 2018.
Yep.
And then in 22.
I think you're right. I think it was in Miami.
No, 23 was in Miami. 23 was in Florida. When I just got done and placed top 10, that was in Florida. And so 22 was in
No, I thought 22 was in Florida, 23 was back in Vegas.
No, 23 was in Florida 100%. I remember 23 was in Florida. Because that's where my life blew up at.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
No, we ain't.
Quietly, we'll get to that. But anyways, you went on 22, you competed.
Yeah.
You took the 13th?
I took 12th. 12th. And then went back to the drawing board, came back, and I won. But then getting ready for the 23 season, I'm starting prep.
Right.
I tear my pec.
Yep.
Right after that. So I got some good momentum going, body looking crazy. We about to start prep, then boom, I tear my pec.
And you kept your coach for how many years did you keep him around?
Oh, I kept him around since that. I only had 2 coaches. So I was with Tim from 2014 to 2018. And then I was with Matt until 18, until he currently stepped away. Because I still didn't leave him then. It was just him stepping away and everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you stepped on stage, came back to the drawing board.
And tore my pec.
Tore your pec.
Yeah. And then I was thinking I was going to shut it down.
Yeah.
I was like, I need to shut it down. I can't do this. And I was depressed, fucked up, and
a lot of things going on in life.
And I was just like, man, I can't do this. And it was driving me crazy. So I was like, well, let me just continue to eat and continue to do what I do and train legs, and maybe I can make it work. And
yeah. Because at this point, you're in a pretty serious relationship.
Yeah.
You know, you're getting ready for prep.
Yeah.
She was obviously in the fitness world, so she gets it, understands, which for a lot of people that aren't in the fitness world and at this level, having a significant other that is understanding, also in the world, it helps tremendously because you're giving up so much to step on that stage, you know, and that's something that I don't miss.
Like
doing the bodybuilding.
I envy some of the people like that I'm kicking it with, my guys that not in the fitness world, my people, you know what I mean? I envy some of them because of like I see how many kids they got.
Right.
I see the grandkids that they got, and I see that when they get older, they're not gonna be like they're gonna have people around them. You know what I mean?
But I feel like you were, you might not have that right now, but
I still can though.
Absolutely, you still can, but you wouldn't be here if you didn't do the bodybuilding.
Yeah, I wouldn't be here.
So
I know. It's that because it could go back to that thing like with my mom.
Right.
I wish my mom was here.
Right.
But if my mom was here, I'd probably be.
Who knows?
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like
you always got to take the good with the bad, right?
Exactly.
So you're in a relationship. You're going to compete. 2023 Olympia. You're on your way out there, and things are fucking, like you said earlier, blowing up in your face.
Yeah, everything blew up in my face. My relationship went bad like 5 hours before I went to the Olympia stage. That shit blew up on me. Bodybuilding's all mental.
Right.
It's all mental. If you get mentally thrown off your game, you fucked up. And I was on the biggest stage in my life, and like I fucked up and did some shit. And like, did I deserve to be blasted and do this and all that? No.
Right.
No. Like, I'm human.
Right.
Like, I'm human like a motherfucker, man. I know I'm Charles Griffen, IFBB pro, this and that, and that. But, man, I'm a regular person. People really know who I was and this and that. I'm a regular-ass person that worked hard for what he had, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And like, for real, my top 10 shit, I felt like got taken away from me. That's where, with me mentally and with life and how it all went down, this and that, like, I feel like that moment got taken away from me. It really did. Like, I was happy for one day. And I put that shit on my Instagram because it was achievement, it was this, it was that, but I was happy for one day. That shit got taken away from me. So it was some bullshit, you know what I mean? Like, I did some bullshit, and when shit happens, you don't know when that shit's gonna hit you, and it hit me, you know what I mean? And ever since those are like every Olympia on some real shit. Every Olympia, I always had a blowout in relationships, but not as bad as this 23 one.
Right.
Every Olympia.
Well, there was a lot on this 23 one. I feel like, I mean, you were engaged.
Yeah.
You had, I think, and just knowing you for how long I've known you, that relationship was probably your number one thing in life.
Yeah.
I mean, you were fucking for real.
Like, I was for real. And, you know, one time, you know, I'm going to be straight up real. Like, I'm going to be straight up real. Like, I even tried to break up with her and leave her because I felt like it was ending. It was going to the place where all my other relationships was going.
Right.
And I tried to get her to leave. And I tried to. And she wouldn't leave, and I get it. She wouldn't leave. And like I had felt out of love and then felt deeply in love again. And then that shit blew up. Boom.
Right. Yep.
And then it's like every relationship I go through, it blows up, and it's like I'm always pointing a finger. And it's like, hold up, man, you're the deciding factor in every one of these relationships. And like I love bodybuilding and I love that fitness and I love it all. But this last year I had to put all that on the burner because I need to work on me. You know what I mean? And with bodybuilding, there ain't no working on you in bodybuilding.
No.
There ain't no working on you. You could think you're gonna do it, but there's really no working on you.
Right.
So I had to take a break from bodybuilding. I had to take a break from everything and get caught back up with life.
Right.
You know what I mean? This is the first time in a long time I even talked about bodybuilding.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just because like it felt like when I was at the pinnacle of what the biggest shit I was about to do, it just got So it's like a little stank in my. It still hurt, a little stank. Like damn.
Right.
What if? But just like when everything, what if I'm right here now? Right. You know what I mean? And life blew up. Yep. Life blew up, and I had to do some soul searching, man. I was like I said earlier, when I went celibate, like I was just like need to find myself, man. I was fucked up, bro.
But it takes a real, in my opinion, it takes a real man, and a lot of the guys will understand this, but it takes a real fucking man to stand up and say, I'm the one that fucked up.
It absolutely does.
I'm the one that made these decisions. I'm the one that did this. But because a lot of people would like to point the finger at other things, you know, and for you to be like, I need to fucking regroup. Yeah, I need to fucking find myself. I need to find me before I can.
These motherfucking tears right here ain't like sad tears.
No.
These is happy tears right now because where I'm at in life right now, it's like, fuck, I was fucked up.
Right. Well, even like growing tears.
Yep. I'm gonna be real with y'all. It's fucked up. Everybody don't know because I take care of a lot of people.
Right.
When it comes to their mental shit, when it comes to their body, fitness, this and that.
You're a fucking counselor.
Hey, I like when it comes down to it on some real shit, like I take care of a lot of people and like I was putting on a happy face, this and that, but people didn't know I was fucked up. And like this last 8 weeks, 9 weeks, it's like, fuck, I'm finally back to Charles motherfucking Edward fucking Griffen. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And I had to do that without the distraction of bodybuilding. So everybody's asking me, when's your next show? When is this? I don't know. I'm enjoying life right now.
Right.
I'm always going to be in striking dances if I want to.
Yeah. Stage is always going to be there.
It's always going to be there.
Stage ain't going anywhere.
And I think that's beautiful that you noticed that. Like you recognized that, you appreciated that, and you took a step back. Like there's nothing absolutely wrong with that.
Yeah. Thank you.
No, that takes a real fucking man, dude. And I respect you for that. I've always respected you, but when you can man up and you say that you've done this and you've done that, that's huge, bro.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a powerful thing.
Yeah, I fucked up, but everybody act like all these people, man.
Nobody's perfect.
I felt the energy from so many people, man. Y'all, and I'm gonna say it on here, they all dirtbags for doing shit like that, man. Because what I did in my personal relationship, now I'm a bad person, man. Right. I've always been a person with a big heart.
Name me one motherfucker that's perfect.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You ain't gonna have no names there.
That's what I'm saying. So. You know, it's just it's been rough. You know what I mean? It was like something that's always been there for me that saved me, that got me, gave me life, got me off death row was bodybuilding. But then bodybuilding couldn't help me out with what I've been going through. It's like, fuck, I need what do I reach for now? Right. What do I reach for now to help me out through this shit?
I know what you reach for. You just showed me on that fucking phone, homie.
Well, yeah.
Pop, 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 pop. Yeah. That motherfucker sound nasty.
Yeah. You know, that's another love. That's another love of mine is motorcycles, man. You know what I mean? I'm like, I love that shit. You know what I mean? Why not intertwine fitness and motorcycles?
Nobody does it.
You know, why not muscles and Harleys, muscle and bikes? You know what I mean? Why? I'm gonna do some shit like that. Like, why can't we look good on motorcycles? You know what I mean?
You know, all these hogs are riding hogs.
Yeah.
And you got Charles over here with fucking 22-inch biceps. Everybody like, what the fuck?
Yeah. And like, I didn't want to post a lot of that stuff on my page last year because like, oh, everybody looks at me, Charles, a pro bodybuilder, this and that. And they wasn't vibing with it. But now I don't care. I'm about to just...
You can't care. Social media is fucking for the birds, man.
Yeah.
Social media, I've had this conversation with a lot of people, and social media it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You have people that
Social media ruins relationships too.
Absolutely.
Golly.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
know, it does.